Hey fellow mamas, welcome to the Military Mamas podcast.
We're your hosts, Allison and Tara.
We are both moms who celebrate and support women who balance the demands of military service with the joys and challenges of motherhood.
This is a space for military moms to connect, share tips and stories, and inspire each other. Let's get started with today's episode.
Hey, so we were just talking, there are so many benefits out there that you rate either as an active duty mom or a spouse to someone who's active duty. And we just wanted to go over this with you today. So that way you knew what you rate, and so that way you knew what you could go out and get if you didn't already have it already.
And it's not like an all-inclusive list. This is just some things that we thought about like in our discussions that we're like, oh, I didn't know about that. So
yeah. So I think the biggest one that's relatively new and I actually got to use was a doula. So many moms are like, oh, I wish I had a doula, but TRICARE doesn't cover it and I don't want to spend like $1,200 out of pocket. Now TRICARE does cover doulas. Obviously you have to get a doula that is TRICARE certified. You can't just pick any doula. And the hospital that you're going to has to accept doulas. So I know, for example, the Camp Lejeune Naval Medicine Hospital, whatever, they don't accept doulas in their hospital. So even though you rate a doula, or you could rate a doula, you can't use them if you are using the hospital on base. I didn't use the hospital on base, so I was still able to use the TRICARE covered doula. And then all of your OB visits are covered by TRICARE. This is also good to note that if you are a dependent and you use TRICARE Select and you go off base, you might be susceptible to copays, which I think they're definitely under like $100. It could be anywhere between like $40 to $60 per visit because you chose to use TRICARE Select. But if you just use TRICARE Prime and you get a referral off base, you don't have to pay anything. So do keep that in mind. When I say these are all covered, it just depends on which TRICARE option you have. But if you are just doing the TRICARE Prime, all of your OB visits are included. And they're all covered. So literally from the time you start to the hospital to even after, you don't have to pay anything.
So breast pumps are one of the things that not a lot of people understand are covered because it's a prescription. I didn't know that. It was my sister-in-law who is my brother's active duty, and she's married to my brother. So she's not active duty, but she's had 4 babies, and she really coached me through a lot of the things. Many people think that they have all of the answers and will tell you, oh no, you totally have to buy your own breast. Just do a little bit of research and understand that you get a prescription for your breast pump from your provider. I received mine from the Naval Hospital, and I was able to turn it into this place called Jan's that's on Camp Lejeune, and the ladies there are fantastic. They understood everything that TRICARE covers, and so they automatically knew how to fill out, and it's really just filling out the form that's got everything pre-written. So you get your breast pump, and then you get replacement parts a month later, and then you get 90 days worth of breast milk bags each month. So you go in each month and they give you 90 days worth of bags, which is insane. That's such a benefit, and it's for a year. So every month for a year you get 90
and they even
bags.
have a delivery option. They can deliver it to you. I don't know if it's just if you're on base, but because I never did that option, but there is a delivery option that you can look into if you're like, oh, I don't have a car, I can't go pick those up or whatever.
And you can do them online too. I don't know exactly how to do that because I went in person to get my breast pump, but I know that you can submit them online if you wanted to buy a certain kind of breast pump and you knew exactly what you wanted. You can submit your prescription online, and then it goes up to a certain dollar amount. So whether it's $250, $300, if your breast pump is over that amount that TRICARE covers, then you'll have to pay the difference.
Right.
But you don't. The fact is that breast pumps can be covered fully, or you can only, instead of paying $450 for a breast pump, you can pay $100 and TRICARE will cover the rest. So not exactly sure on those prices. You have to do your own research, but your referral will cover a majority of it.
Yeah, and you can't be 6 weeks
prescription,
pregnant.
not referral. Sorry.
Yeah,
prescription.
You can't be 6 weeks and try to go get your breast pump. There is a time cutoff that I think you have to be at least 21 weeks or more to get the prescription for your breast pump. So if you go in at 5 weeks and we can't give you your prescription for your breast pump yet, just know because you have to be a little bit further along, at least on Camp Lejeune. Another thing that I want to talk about, this is specifically for the active duty mamas. So there are skivvy shirts that are breast pump or breastfeeding like tailored. So I think as of right now, they're not necessarily like in a prescription. It's not necessarily talked about because it is relatively new, but this is something that you could potentially get thrown on to your military uniforms thing, which we're gonna do another episode on. But this just kind of goes in with like the breastfeeding thing, if that's what you're gonna do, or the pumping. So if you're gonna do like the wearable ones or something like that, just know that there are options that can be more accommodating for certain pumps that you have. So like if you're like, oh, I'm gonna pump, but I don't want to have to take my shirt off or something, so I'm gonna get this one versus this one. They do have shirts now that are more accommodating. So
and you don't think it's gonna be a big deal until you're doing it, like until you're sitting in the breastfeeding room or the pump room and you're like pulling your shirt up and pulling your bra down and then like trying to attach your and then you're like, man, okay, now I'm all the way like this. Well, what if I want to stand up? I've unbuttoned my pants, like. You know, these just have a little flap and you bring it up and you put your breast pump in and it's super, 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Absolutely. And I never got any. And so I would literally like kind of roll up my skivvy shirt and like I would just bite it like a dog. Like it would be in my mouth, like rolled up and I'm like, hold on, I'm feeding. And so like super pain in the butt, but and I kind of wish I would have had some. So.
Yeah, and also additionally, to piggyback up what you're saying, they have pregnant skivvy shirts too. So it's got like the bunched up material and more material to go over your belly, so you're not like wearing your husband's skivvy shirt that's like cutting your belly off halfway. They go all the way over, so they're super comfortable. And more convenient.
Yeah, we're gonna cover more of like the military uniforms in depth. So definitely be keeping an eye out for that because you also rate uniforms. So that's kind of more of a lengthy process that we really wanted to go more in depth with you guys over. So that's why we're not covering it here, but just know we are going to cover it for you. But
for the doula, I didn't have a doula, and it was, I mean, I saw your birth video and I noticed that like she helped you work through a lot of stuff. Do you think it's like beneficial to have that?
Oh, 4,000%. Even if you're not trying to go like the crunchy mom or like supernatural stuff, like
I don't know if I'd want somebody outside of my support person. Like my mom was there when I gave birth both times. Yeah. But
well, the service is more than just her showing up on your birthday. So but so she's there from like you visit with her your whole pregnancy. So like once a week or once a month, and then the closer you get to your delivery date, like you're gonna see her pretty adamantly. But you're doing like, you can either do like a Zoom call or like in person, like with mine, but you're going in classes, like you do classes with her basically. And so it's like, hey, this is everything you need to know about breastfeeding, or this is everything you need to know about like labor. Like there's so many different things to cover from pregnancy to after pregnancy. And like this is where I learned a lot of the things, or got the ideas to research, like, oh, the reason why breast milk doesn't really come in is because of the placenta releases this hormone, and so all that. But anyway, so the doula, so there were classes the whole pregnancy, the leading up to everything, because there's just so much like you don't really know. And so she goes over the difference in like birthing positions and how to breathe through things. There's just so much information, and so we kind of built the bond. Like I had met with her probably like 15 times, and they were like 2 to 3 hour long sessions. So it was like we got to know things. Like she would tell me her stories, and like vice versa. Like I could ask questions. And like she had, like she's a doula, so she has been with so many other patients who went to the hospital I went to. So she was like, oh, the staff here are really great. Or when you get there, you want to ask for this, not this, or don't forget to do about this, or like she went over, the biggest thing for me was deciding like what medications I wanted to use, like the nitrogen oxide or whatever. So like she went over that, and like how to, like so much information and so much bonding. So by the time it came to like I'm pushing a baby out, like I trusted her. Like she had taught me so much. I knew she was a mom, and that really helped. And then like I knew her, and so it was kind of like I can lean on her for more of like the guidance of like, okay, hey, what do I do now? And so she was really good at being like, hey, let's do this position. Hey, you get some water real quick, and then like fanning me. So even if you don't want like a super,
I saw her fanning you.
Oh, she was the best. She was such a best. I literally like felt so bad because I was like, I felt like I didn't say thank you enough to her. But like in the video I was like watching when I was like editing it, like every time I would like look, she's like fanning, water. Like she was like a pit crew, like fanning, water, compression on your hips. Okay, let's flip sides, peanut ball. Like she was just amazing. And so,
okay, I did have a question about so you did like using the doula. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Now that you've had a baby and you went through with the doula once, do you think that you need one? Are you gonna get one if you get pregnant again? Do you have more kids? Like, or do you think like you had her, she was a great resource, you learned a lot, but you kind of got it?
I think we actually just had this conversation like last weekend. I was kind of like, I've already learned everything. Like, how much has changed? You know, like, what do you think would change? Whatever. So I'm like, I don't know if I would need her again. Like, what if I'm filling a spot that she could help another first-time mom type thing? And Derek was like, well, we don't know, like we don't really have a lot of family or anything. And so it's like, you can't have babies in the delivery room. And so he's like, we might be in a position where I have to go stay with Esme and like I don't need to be alone, and so I'd rather you have like the doula. But even then too, he said I'd rather just be able to I'd rather focus on comforting you and like enjoying the moment instead of being the one responsible for, hey, we got to flip the side, hey, we got to flip to this side, let's try this position. And so having someone who has like little emotion in it, and she can say, hey, flip to this side, nope, we have to do this other side now, or hey, we're gonna do this position, or you need to get up and walk, or here's some water. Like she was really good at keeping us on track with, hey, this is what our birth plan was kind of thinking. Are you still feeling like this? Versus Derek was just so caught up in the emotion of, oh my gosh, you're in pain. Like, what do I do? I'm doing, like, oh my gosh. And,
or like, what do you need? I'll do anything. Instead of like keeping you strict to what you knew you wanted.
Yeah. So I was leaning more towards, I don't know if I really need her, but Derek was like, she really helped me because I could just focus on you and I didn't have to focus on the help keeping you in like the right positions. And
well, that's cool.
The medical stuff. And so that was really good. And then she also, her services covered the placenta encapsulation, which is a whole nother episode, but she handled all that. So when like I birthed the placenta.
Sorry for the face, my bad. I just can't control this thing.
So like from the moment I like got the placenta out, like she handled all of that, like the packaging to take it with her, all of that. Like she did all of that. And so and she also has like a couple.
No judgment. I just
ignore the gag noises.
It's gross for me. I mean, I'm sure I know that there's benefits. I know that there's like very like animalistic benefits. But I don't know if I want to do that.
And I got like the pill encapsulation. I'm not like cutting it up like a steak because that's crossing the line for me. Yeah, just
eating
beef jerky.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. But I had the pills and like. The only time I could taste anything is if I happen to like burp and I'm like, that kind of tasted like placenta. Which I guess it's like a hard flavor to describe. It's kind of just like, it's kind of just like if you've ever had like liver, which I hate liver, but every now and then I would eat it because it's just like really good for you.
It's really good for you.
But I would just that's kind of what it reminded me of. And that's when I'm like, really gonna try hard not to burp ever again while I'm taking these. But she offers that, and so it was one person who covered so many things. The education, like, because her education was like 3 hours like per visit, basically, and that's just because we were talking, and she has like videos and like more in depth. I forget what it was called, the information she provided, but it was all like studied based evidence. So it wasn't like, hey, this doctor said this because of whatever. It was, hey, they did this study. Like, take from it what you will. You know what I mean? And so it was very, like, opinion was out of it. And so just having one person that has so many things in it and it's covered by TRICARE, like, why not? You know what I mean?
They're 3-hour appointments?
Ours went long. Because I'm very...
I was about to say, I don't even know if I can carve out 3 hours of my day.
No. They're typically... I think only supposed to be like 30 minutes to an hour, but I'm the type where I have a bajillion questions before an appointment and I'm going to ask every single one of them. And if I have a follow-up question, I'm also going to ask.
Let me get my notes out.
Seriously, I would always write them down like every single time. And so...
but that's good. I mean, and being a first-time mom, you want to have those
absolutely. And I don't talk to my mom. And so I was like, what do I do with this? What do I do with this? And a lot of things when you research, it's like, oh, well, if you know what your mom's birth experiences were like, it's a good idea for what yours is going to be like. I'm like, I don't know. I don't talk to like, I don't know what her birth experiences were like.
That's not funny.
Yeah, trauma. But it's like, I don't know what to expect. And so, like, it was just nice being able to learn from someone who has been in it. And she's like, I've been a part of X amount of hundreds of births. And especially at the hospital I was going to, with the staff that I had. It was just really reassuring just to have the information, and it's really unbiased. And so if you're not a cringy mom, but you're like, I'm getting the epidural as soon as labor starts or whatever, like she's got so much information for that too. And it's just really, really nice to have the information. That information goes with you. So it's not like you have to try to remember it all when you're in labor, like, okay, what am I supposed to do? This position, this position. It's like, she's right there with you. She's literally like a birth coach. That's like what a doula is. And so they just coach you through everything, like, hey, we've been in labor for this long, baby's at this station in your pelvis. Okay, this position's really good for dropping baby, or this position's really good for turning baby. Like, just knowing that is really good, because I'd probably, like, there's no way I would have been able to remember that in the moment. Because I was so focused on, like, labor. I wasn't like, oh yeah, if I do this at the peanut ball, this helps turn the baby. Like, no. But she knows that, you know what I mean? And she sees it and she's like, boom, here we go. Like, Mom.
That is cool.
Yeah. And so I really, really recommend him just for that reason. Like, I think you're able to focus on labor and just do your thing. And then you've got someone there, because she's also your advocate. Like, you say, hey, I don't want, like, the biggest thing for me is I don't want antibiotics. I don't want antibiotics. It completely clears out your gut biome, and it's just really bad. And so it's like, I don't want this. Like, if I'm like just so focused in labor and like I can't talk, like, you're my advocate. And so she had to step up and was like they were trying to set up everything for me, and I'm like, and I was like, no, I don't want to, contraction. Oh, I don't want to, no contraction. And like, when you're contracting, they're still working. And then it's like, did you not hear me 30 seconds ago? I said,
no,
I
they
don't want
don't
that.
care. They do care.
Right. They're so focused on working. And so she had to step in. She had to step in and say, hey, she doesn't want this, but we'll let you know if she changes her mind or whatever. And so, like, just having her to be like my advocate when I'm like in pain was just really nice, because
that's good.
Derek's great, but it's also like, he's kind of like, oh, birth, what position are we doing again? Oh yeah, antibiotics, we don't want them. Like, so she was very, and I think it kind of takes like a woman, a mother to know, you know.
my significant other that, like, what birthday, whose birthday is what, and I'm like, emergency contact, you're doing great.
Yeah. It just takes a different level of being detail oriented with the stuff that she was able to provide. But anyway.
And I mean, as we go on, if you guys have questions or anything like that, feel free to ask. Like, we'll do our research too. TRICARE obviously covers all the branches. So even though we're speaking specifically about the Marine Corps, Army, Navy, all the other branches are covered too in some way, shape, or form. So just, you know, do your homework as well, and just make sure you're informed. So,
yeah. Anyway, I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode and learned a little bit of something. Stay tuned for the next episode, and see you next time.
Bye.
As a reminder, this podcast is not endorsed by the DoD, and everything talked about here is just our personal experiences and opinions.
We are also not medical professionals.